That's so funny.
All right, so I'm Gina Carson,
And I'm Jason Planner.
and I want to welcome you to our podcast. We want to welcome you, Fear and Loathing in New Jersey. Right now, we're going to go off the cuff a few minutes on some specific topic that is near and dear to us, or possibly I just am making plainer talk about it. Um, but I think we have a lot of tidbits to share about elder care.
Oh, yes.
So basically, we both live at home. We both take care of people older than us, our aged parents. Um, there's a lot of hurdles, a lot of weird stuff that you end up having to know about that you are like, what the f am I doing this for? And if we can help anybody, we'd like to do that.
Yeah, it's the reverse dynamic. You're the child and you think that everything that has to do with you doesn't stink, but then when the shoe's on the other foot, you realize just what a parent does go through. And it's tough because you're trying to preserve their dignity, preserve the dignity of the parent-child relationship, but at the same time, there's certain things you got to do that you may not want it to have done.
100%.
It's my funny little anecdote is always when you're doing your parents' laundry, you don't look at what you're touching. You just reach in the hamper, put it in the thing. Reach in the hamper, put it in the machine. I don't know what that was. I don't want to know what it was, but I'm going to wash it.
It's true. You told that to me, and I thought instantly about how my dad did our laundry for years and like had to do like three women's underwear, and like he just did it and didn't whatever. So I do their laundry too. He does it sometimes now, but basically it's just easier for me. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many chores and day to day things that you start to assist with that, you know,
And I don't know if you do it as well. I get very impatient and sometimes I'll see, cuz my mom said it to me the other day. She's like, "I hate having to depend on you." It's not that not that you're not my son. I hate that I can't do it for myself anymore.
sure.
So it's it's hard enough just to ask for that kind of help, much less have, and especially, you know, mother to male son. Like it's
Sure.
you find yourself in all sorts of situations that you would have never thought about.
Sure. It's one new thing after another, basically, that there's no end in
And
sight for.
yeah, and I don't know if I was already meandered off my original point. Sometimes I'll be impatient because I've got five things to do, and my mother will start trying to help me do the things she asked me to for help with, and then I get patient and just bulldoze her over and say, no, 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 let me do it. And that's not the right thing either because you have to we've seen this in very various ways in the people in our lives. If people don't feel useful, they start feeling bad.
100%. They they need their own daily activities. Otherwise, they're sure to decline no matter who they are. So that's like some of the stuff we want to bring to the table about everything from like nutrients and food stuff to daily activities. Like if your parents are already declining and you want to do what you can to kind of put the brakes on, there are definitely things you could do. Getting them to
Yeah,
do
or
it
just
is like another another topic. So there's techniques, there's things, whatever. Like, but they gotta want to do it. And my parents say they're gonna do things, and I explain why it's gonna be helpful. And be a great assistance to all three of us, or why it's going to be beneficial to them and their brains, and they like nod and say yes and okay, and then like don't do it, or do it once or twice, and then I'm like, but you got to do it every day, but blah blah blah. So my background in special ed is helpful. There's things you can do to assist in having certain activities done on a whatever time basis. Um, and I mean, that's not even special ed, that's just like elementary school, but charts with stickers and stars, and where you see progress or you see that things are done on certain dates because it's got to be check marked or whatever. This is like super helpful. I mean, we all forget, like we were saying, like we're in our 40s. I'm super forgetful. I have been for a long time. Like if I don't write it down, I don't know. Um, so there's technology to use, but there's old school. A lot of times with the older parents, it's just writing it down where someone sees it is the reminder that's necessary. Obviously, lists, things that could be crossed off, helpful. Um, Plus, we got a bunch of good stories and stuff that are amusing. I feel
Yeah,
like there's a lot of us out there, right, dude?
absolutely. There's a lot of people. I just looking into like the whole thought of doing a podcast. I hear Jerry Seinfeld in my head going, "What's the deal with all these podcasts?" It's there's a lot of voices out there that are saying the same thing, but they don't realize that they're all saying the same thing, and it's the internet's an even lonelier place than even the old FM dial because there's billions of places you could be. There's almost as many destinations as there are people traveling, and it can be intimidating. It's just like a person getting older and feeling that you spend your whole life thinking you have your whole life ahead of you until you don't. And I find it like especially with my mother, it's not that she doesn't want to eat well. It's not that she doesn't want to take her pills. It's the old John Cougar Mellencamp. Life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. They're just tired. It's like my mother will not eat all day rather than have to go chop the lettuce, chop the celery, have a tomato, or just go get something. That's probably how people get into bad eating habits. Well, I could spend 45 minutes preparing something healthy, or I could eat this frozen pizza. Maybe we can tell you how to make that healthy meal in 15 minutes so that they'd be more likely to do it. You know, Stuff like that.
Yeah, and honestly, some of that isn't even going to be elder care. It's things like we should be doing it in our 40s too. That like we do occasionally or don't really do at all, but we know we should do it. So if we could do it for them and start to make little changes to make everything easier, anything that makes life a little easier, because life is definitely hard enough and not always as amusing as I think it should be. Like, where is the fun at? Especially this last year with COVID, it's like not going to live music, not being able to just go into a bar and hear some music and have a drink. Is You don't realize how much you miss live music is insane.
Yeah, there's no release. There's no, and my mom used to say to me all the time that she feels cut off from the world because she doesn't go to work anymore. You know, and just this past year, I feel it. I feel I don't have a job. I don't have anywhere to go. I like half the days, like, if you said to me, brush your teeth and go take a shower, I could look you straight in the face and say, why? What do I have to do today? But that's the hump that is probably harder to get over the older and older you get. Imagine being 70 and saying, well, why should I get out of bed and take off these pajamas?
100%. Yeah. It's super easy to be like, fuck it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
because we're
if we want to say fuck it, we know they do.
exactly, and it's a much easier climate where it's acceptable to say fuck it.
Yeah.
I have not worn pants that were not pajama pants in probably going on 2 months now, and not one person has said a word to me. I went to the store in my grumpy gnome from Snow White and the Seven Dwarves pajama pants. Like, there's no checks on ourselves anymore in this new environment.
No, COVID is definitely, I think it's a good thing. It brought mental health, the importance of mental health, really front and center just because it's affecting so many more people. Um, People that never probably thought one way or another about certain things because they can't get out, because whatever. It's real. So it's happening to us. It's happening to our parents, and there's little things. I mean, we got to force ourselves sometimes, but it definitely helps. So those are like we want to talk about that stuff because I don't honestly think I haven't done a search, so I'm talking a lot of shit right now, but I don't think it's a big topic that people talk about. I'm just going out on a limb here. I think it's like a little niche. There probably are a few people, but I feel like we have plenty to say. And to me, I don't think there's anything better than like tips and hints about something that uh, instead of you stumbling through and having to go through the shit I've gone through, if I could share something, make your life a little easier, that's like a win. And then some funny stories, win win. I mean, it's simple enough, right? I think.
Oh yeah, anytime you can, laugh and walk away smarter, that is definitely a two in the win category.
Win win win. We're gonna
Win win.
we want to line that up. Yeah, we're basically about winning. Um, so that's that. I think that's Eldercare is such a giant umbrella, but we'll rein it in.
Yeah, it's going to be probably where we'll, like a chicken, we'll take it bone by bone as we pick through. Well, you don't eat meat, so I guess that was a bad. Like a salad, we'll go through each vegetable till we get to the bottom of the bowl and discuss it all.
Yeah, and obviously, if anybody out there wants to hear about anything specific, you'll be able to get in touch with us through our website. So once again, this is Gina Carson,
Jason Planner.
and this was a little tidbit on elder care for our podcast, Fear and Loathing in New Jersey. You can check us out online at fearandloathinginnewjersey.com.